Hello, I'm an Spanish speaker who has learned English, and right now I'm learning Japanese as well. So I will be sharing a couple of the things that I learned during these 3 years and how I did it. The thing that I like the most about how did I study English is just that I didn't have to touch any grammar. So you probably think that it is necessary to study grammar in the most part before doing immersion, but I don't really think that you really do have to study grammar. So for example, right now I'm studying Japanese as well, and when I started to study Japanese, yeah, I mean I had to study some grammar, but at the end of the day I ended up picking it up through just immersion, and that's the same with my English. So I ended up just picking it up through immersion. So at the end of the day, I think that the most important thing is just immersing, because that's how you're going to get used to the language, and that's how you're going to learn the grammar that you're looking for, literally. You're probably wondering how did I study, and my two primary sources of study were literally Netflix and YouTube. So during my first year of immersion, I actually just did Netflix during the first 3 months. The first 3 months I actually just did like 30 minutes to 1 hour, and then after those 3 months I actually noticed that I got better, because it was my first time learning a language. Like, I did not know if this was actually going to work, right? So I noticed that, oh my god, it's really working. So after I noticed that it's really working, I started to watch more advanced series. I think that I started watching Stranger Things. So after finishing my first year, I noticed, oh my god, like I really can understand English, right? So maybe I should start watching more native content, maybe videos like or things of the like, right? So I started watching YouTube, and I did mostly YouTube during my second year of immersion. So mostly YouTube, and like coupled with some Netflix. I actually did whatever that I kind of felt like it, because at the time I was much more lazy than I am right now. What propels my English to better levels was actually reading. So reading is being proven to help you with listening, to help you with speaking, to help you with, of course, your reading, learning better vocabulary. Especially because, I mean, when you're watching a Netflix series or a YouTube video, there's so much vocabulary that you can use to actually express what you want to express on that series, right? But like when you're reading a book, how can that author really express what he wants to express? He adds more words, right? So that's why I think reading is actually better when it comes to learning vocabulary, because there's going to be a lot of fucking vocabulary that you don't know, because in series you actually don't need to use that vocabulary, but in books you actually do really need to use that vocabulary in order to make the book good. At the time I was reading for an about of 2 to 3 hours a day. Maybe sometimes I read aloud, maybe sometimes I read in silence. It depended on how I felt, right? So I, even in the third year, I wasn't that disciplined. One of the best things that I did to learn English was making this channel. Like, ironically, making these channels gave me more motivation. And if you are motivated, like maybe you want to get a scholarship, maybe you want to get to a very good university, and you don't know, I don't know, German, like those kinds of things are going to improve your language learning a lot, because you are actually motivated to learn the language. So if you are only to do one thing, just get a motivation, because if not, you're going to do it like half-assed, and doing things that way is not that fun as if you were doing it motivated. You're probably asking, what did I do during my immersion? And honestly, I did not do anything. I just watched the thing. So at the time, I was focusing on things like meditating, things like focusing on really one thing at a time. And like that really helped me with that, because I mean, watching episodes on Netflix about 1 hour long, it's really going to help you improve in your concentration. Now, as far as for reading, I almost did like the same. I had a comprehension of probably 85% or maybe 90, but there were some books who were really difficult, and when I encountered those books, which are very difficult, I just literally skip them, and that's it. Now, there was some books that I did not understand that much, but they were really good books, and I actually was very addicted to those books. And when you have that opportunity of being addicted to that book, literally translate, review everything that you can, and that's when I started translating and reviewing. I think that you should really do that if you are really enjoying the book. Now, I would really recommend that you use a monolingual dictionary if you want to really review something. So, for example, you could go to this one, which is called the Cambridge Learners Dictionary, which is available for a lot of language. And like a monolingual dictionary is just a dictionary in which you use one language, the language that you're learning. So I think that it is available for like German, Japanese, Chinese, all those kinds of languages, right? And if you use a monolingual dictionary, you're going to encounter as well a lot of words that you don't really know, but by you learning those words, you're going to improve your English or your German or your Italian as well, right? Thank you for giving me your attention.